The hearthrug, of course, came with the mills. As we said before, the floor was covered with callous sand, and that was sufficient. But as people began to want more comfort, and they worked at mills that had surplus things which we put to use, and what was the making of these rugs. The mills used what was then known as harding. It's now called Hessian, and it was called harding then. What they packed their pieces of cloth in to send away, and when those pieces came back, before reuse them, they would sell them for a copper or so, and people would broke them on which to peg the rugs. Also, you could buy at the mill at that time, you could buy waste that could be pegged in to give you the pile. But later it became quite, not a business, but quite a passion to prepare for pegging rugs. If you had any old clothes, an old coat, old trousers, anything like that, they weren't thrown away, they were washed and cut up to make rug bits. Can you hand us one, Stanley, I think, in that, one in that basket?
Yeah.
Yes. Always the same size and shape.
All with the same size and shape. All cut with the same size.
Those were cut from old clothes and put on one side. As we've mentioned before, if you're noticing it, the great desire was everyone to have a new hearthrug on Christmas Eve, which is understandable. Now, to peg the rug, you need a rug frame, which we have behind the door there.
There we are.
All ready for starting, you see.
All ready for starting. When the ladies got together, neighbours get together, yes. Friends, went across the table and a chair.
On a chair.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody in the village wanting a rug for Christmas, that made the demand for rug frames very, very great. And the people who had them loaned them out at £1 a time.
My grandfather was a main man for pegging frames. £1 a day, £1 a week, and that was it.
And I remember what my uncle was one of the people in the village of Sissy who owned a rug frame. And my mother would say to me, perhaps it would be July, she would say, when you come from school, will you call at Uncle Harry's and order a rug frame? And I would call at Uncle Harry's and say, Uncle Harry, my mother wants a rug frame as soon as she can have it. You know, take out his long notebook and look through it and go through the names and give me an answer, something like this. Well, Mrs. So-and-so wants it, Mrs. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. You can have it on 23rd of September, something like that. So it was booked, and that was it. And on the 23rd of September, we went and got the rug frame and prepared for work. And as Stanley said, Stanley's showing you how it was fixed. It was resting between the table and the chair, and neighbours and friends came to give you an assistance in pegging the rug. Because it could be a long, laborious job. But they did that. But of course, it reciprocal, they went and helped them in their own turn.